I just want to say, firstly, thank you to Reverend Edward Lyons for inviting us to come this morning. We flew in from Phnom Penh, which is almost 24 hours, and arrived on Friday morning. So we're very thankful and blessed to be here this morning to give you a little bit of how I got to Cambodia, but also Sukeng is going to give her testimony to you and explain what she does as a director in Cambodia.
Good morning. My name is Sukeng Pek, and Pek is my last name. It's mean diamond. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to be here, share my testimony and what we do in Cambodia. And I apologize if my English is not good, because English is my second language. So, yeah. It's a miracle and a blessing to be here for me as a Cambodian, because I'm from a small and poor country. So I don't just get a passport and flight ticket and fly over here. So I have to apply visa for 3 months in advance, and we have to do a lot of paperwork, fill application form, and they ask everything. They even ask how much money in my bank account I have. So I understand that, because a lot of people from Cambodia, they fly over to other country and they not return. So I understand that. But thank God that I am here. I would like to introduce my family. I am the oldest sister in family. In my culture, the oldest brother or sister has to get married first. Otherwise, your younger sister or brother cannot get married, because they have to wait. Because they believe that if the younger sister or brother get married first, I will stay single for the whole life. So last 2 years, I told my youngest sister, she got a boyfriend. Then I said, if you want to get married, go ahead and get married, because I don't know when I'm going to get married. I'm waiting for God's timing. But last year, I got married. I got married with an American. His name is Philip. We met in Cambodia. We work in the same organization, and we was long distance for 10 years before we get married. So it was very hard, but thanks God, we are together now. In my culture, a woman should get married in an age between 18 to 25, and when I get married, I was 35 years old. Yeah. So they give a lot of pressure to a woman that not get married, because they believe that it's not good to be alone. I grew up in a small village in Kampong Cham province. My parents both are farmers. They grow rice and vegetable and fishing for a living. My dad also make a palm sugar. That was a hard job for him. My parents both are working very hard, but very difficult to support 5 children. Every day when we was young, we starving. Every day we have no food. We go to sleep hungry. We ate old corn, which people feed pig, and we ate that for many years. I remember when I was 7 years old, my sister was 5 and my brother was 3. We all get sick in the same time. We got very bad dengue fever. And if you go to the next slide, yeah. And at that time in my village, we don't have a hospital for like the serious disease. So we have to travel from our village to the city, and we take this boat. But at that time, we don't have any car or bicycle or motorbike. So we took this boat like all day from our village to Phnom Penh City to get hospital. And we stayed in the hospital for a week. And then we have to leave the hospital before we get here. Because the hospital is free, but my parents could not afford to buy food. Every day we go to sleep, have no food. Sometimes people in the hospital give us food, and my parents has to sacrifice. They never have food because they give us the food. I quit school when I was 8 years old because I have to take care of my two brothers, my brother and sister. And my mom sent me to work when I was 16 years old. So my first job, I worked in the city. I was very young, and it was very scary. I couldn't say no to my mom when she sent me to work because in my culture, women has to be responsible for the family. And my first job was I worked as a housekeeper, and I got $10 a month, working 7 days a week, and no holiday, no weekend. I cry every day, I cry every night because I miss my family and I miss my brother, sister. As a cleaner, there was a lady. She came to me, offered me a job. That at the time I make $20 a month, and she said if I come to work with her, she will give me $250 a month. And I thought it was a lot. And she go back and say, I was thinking about that. And then God has spoke to me. At that time, I was not a Christian. I was a Buddhist. But God spoke to me. He said, no, do not go with her. And I thank God that I did not go with her. She would take me to a sex worker to sell. My dad, he's always speak good about me. He's always proud of me. He's always encouraging me, whilst my mom's always speaking negative about me. She's always angry with me. I understand why my mom, she is a very angry person, because she is the only one who survived from Khmer Rouge. So in one day, the Pol Pot took all her family because her family is working for the government. So they took them all to kill just one day. And my mom also went with them, but they kept them in a place waiting for the next day to kill. But my mom, she escaped at that night, and God also kept my mom alive. She told me that there was an angel cover her, but I didn't understand until I became Christian that the Lord has kept my mom, so that I am here today. Yeah. It took me 10 years when I became a Christian. It took me 10 years to forgive my mom. One day the Lord has spoke to me that He reminded me about my mom's childhood, why she's a very angry woman, because she has very difficult life. She lost all her parents. She lost all her brother, sister. That's why she's very angry. And I forgive her. And I pray for her for 10 years. She gave her life to Jesus now. My dad died 13 years ago. When my dad died, I feel like I lost everything. I lost hope. Because my dad is the only one who loved me. And he is the only reason that I want to live. But when he dies, I don't want to live. I tried to end my life a few times, but God has kept me. I became Christian 18 years ago when I was working in garment factory. The work was very hard. I worked sometimes 15 hours, sometimes 12 hours a day, and got very little pay. I became very sick, and then I couldn't work I don't have money to go to the hospital, no medical insurance. And then I ending up living in the orphanage, where it's a Christian organization. That's how I become a Christian. And God has a plan for me, as a Jeremiah 29:11. So I live in an orphanage, and I work as a volunteer. I didn't get any pay, just to have a place to stay and have a food to eat, and I go to study English at church for free. After 2 years in an orphanage, I got a job as a cleaner in an organization where I met my husband. And they give me a scholarship to study English at good school, so that's why I can speak English now. So I laugh at myself and I say that it's impossible to go to university. But God say, with Him all things is possible. Last year I graduated from bachelor degree in English business. I couldn't even write my own language. I can read, but I couldn't write. People say, how do you learn English? If you cannot write your own command, how do you translate? I say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's happened. It was very challenging, but God always helped me, and He always sent people to help me. Like I did the course in UK, it was very difficult. I nearly give up on the halfway, but Liz has always helped me. I remember all the time when I do the exam, I have to lay my hand on head. I say, God, please help me. But I did it, and thanks God.
And you got an A.
I got an A. Let me move to my work. So I started working at Child's Haven or Eggshell in 2018. Before I worked at Child's Haven, I worked in a big company, Singapore company. It's very good and I have a good pay, but I was not happy. I read the news. There was two girls. Their parents left with the grandmother. The parents go away for work in Thailand, so they left the child with the grandparent. And the grandparent was away. The child get raped and killed. And my heart was very broken. And I asked God, what can I do to save the children, to help the children? And then 3 months later, I got a job from Mark and Liz, work at daycare. Working with children is my passion. I've been working with children for many years. I work in an orphanage for 2 years, and then I work with the children at church. But I just find that last 3 years that God is calling me just to work with children, and especially the poor children that they are struggling with their life and the family. Most of the children that we help are from like sexual abuse or child labor, or the family are very poor, they have no food. So Liz asked me to start Bible study with the grandparent or the parent in a village in Cambodia. We believe in Buddhism, so they are very strong Buddhism, and you have to be very careful to tell them about Jesus. Otherwise, they will be very angry. So I say, God, I don't know what I'm going to say, what I'm going to teach them, but I just do what you want me to do. And I say, I do what I have to do, and you have to do your work. I do my work, and you have to do your work. And then last year, on Christmas, there was 16 give their life to Jesus. And then last month, we have 6 more give their life to Jesus. Example, like one grandpa. Grandma came and asked me to pray for her husband. She said, "Can you please pray my husband? He been drinking so many years, and he never work. He hates his wife. He's very angry man. And then last 2 years, he came to join my Bible study. He came, was very drunk, and he smelled very bad. And I was complaining. I talked to myself, I said, Lord, why he is here? I don't think he will give his life to you. Why is here? He just smelled very bad. And then God spoke to me, but he needs to hear my word. And then I say, I'm sorry. And then last 2 weeks, his wife came and told me that her husband stopped drinking and he is working. And his family is so blessed. They never starving. They always have enough food, and they always able to share to other people in the village.
Pray for those children. We put them in a uniform so that they don't come in and look like they're different. They're all the same when they're with us. So we bought the uniform so that when they come in, no one can tell what their home life is like. You can fundraise for us. Eggshell Cambodia has a website. If you wanted to do some fundraising, get in touch with them and they'll give you some advice on how to do that. You could come out on mission, Edward. Bring a group out. If you don't want to do daycare, we have other organisations that work with street children, that do, there's a place that does like plastic recycling, and they have a little orchestra that they've built up, so if you're very talented and that sort of thing, we can put you in touch with them and we will do the programme for you. All you need to do is raise your money to come, and the rest is down to us. You could sign up to be a monthly donor, and why I'm saying that is important to us is that's our budget. We know what we're getting in for the year. We don't have any government funding anywhere. All that we have survived the last 5.5 years by people being generous and seeing a vision. We don't do sponsorship because we can't give you a picture of your child to put on the fridge. These kids are at risk. But you can help a group of children to be in a safe place. And lastly, sign up for our newsletter. I have sheets at the back here when I'm finished. If you would like to do that, we don't spam you, but once a month you'll get a wee insight to what's going on in the daycare. And thank you. We'll be around. Come and talk to us.